Hey guys, it's about Town Deb, and we are just about to start the show. Alicia with Northern Nevada Children's Cancer Foundation. We've done so much together, and I'm so happy you're sitting here. And you got a lot going on, a lot coming up. So can you give us a little teaser of what we might be chatting about?
Yeah, we're going to talk about Natalia's night. It's a fun little fundraiser coming up in about a week. And
the Dozers thing?
Dozers and Dirt.
Dozers and Dirt. And a little secret. She just had a baby. So we're going to be talking some mom talk. So stay tuned. It's going to be talking about kids, and more kids. Be right back.
In Nevada near the silver mines, there's a kind-hearted woman. She's looking so fine, always taking care of her community. Bringing folks together is her cup of tea. She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's about Town Deb.
Hey everybody, it's about Town Deb with City Talk, and I am happy to be back on set with Alicia with Northern Nevada Children's Cancer Foundation. And if you know me at all or follow me at all, that is one of my biggest passions. So I always love it when she's on set because, you know, we learn about how we can provide hope for the little kiddos, and we learn how we can make a difference, and we learn so much from you. But we're also going to learn about being a new mom and, you know, having to go back to work. And I think I was thinking about it this morning when I was prepping with my notes. It's got to be such a struggle because, you know, you work helping children and you're around babies and young kids and teenagers that really need your help and need our help. And then you go home and you have this beautiful little girl who's healthy and happy, and then you had to leave her, and I don't know. So I want to talk a little bit about what is it like. There's so many new moms out there, and you're going back to work. And I think with your situation, you know, you're going back to make a difference for other, as you say, kiddos. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we get into all of that, I do want to thank our sponsors because without them, so we have Basin, Cellars, which, you know, has my red wine and now a Sauvignon Blanc, Wild River Grille, which we love eating out there. And I think that now that the fall is here, they may not be having live music. So that's kind of a bummer. I love all summer long with live music, and the doggies go on Monday.
Nothing better than dinner on the river there in the summertime.
And the lights, it's just so nice. So I want to thank them. And I also want to thank Surratt Law Practice because Kim has been by my side for many, many years. And of course, Angel, Fenix Media, Christian, the man behind the curtain back here, has been by my side a long time. And the theme song, Dee Dee James. So by the way, Dee Dee James is relocating to Reno. A little shout out if you need people if you would like the 70s and 80s at your location. He's amazing. So he's already booked quite a bit at the Biggest Little Steakhouse. He's going to be at Engine 8. He's booked quite a few already. So
exciting.
He'll be here officially November 1st, but he's already booking shows.
Maybe we need an NNCCF theme song out of him.
Oh my gosh. Do you not have one?
I don't think so.
We need one. Oh my goodness. I'm spinning again. So I love that. And of course, Caliber Hair and Makeup. They redid my colors, so my color is not orange anymore, but it looks orange on the lights. But I didn't do braids today. I normally do, but today was one of those days. So before I even go into the week, I want to dedicate this show to my Uncle Ray, who's now up in heaven with all of our other family members. And if any of you family members know, when you have somebody with Alzheimer's, it's such a devastating way to go because you lose, you know, with Nana, Papa's wife, she went through that. We've had quite a few family members. So I just want to tell my family that I love them. And if you have family going through it, our hearts and our prayers are with you. And I really just found out about an hour ago. So if I'm a little bit off, that's why. But I definitely feel it's important that, you know, family comes first. And before I do any show stuff, I just want my family to know that I love them and I'm here for them. So now on to business. Oh, just want to get that done because it's so important.
I love that we talk about real life, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Every show, we talk about real life.
It's real life.
Real issues. And
you know, you actually, so when she came in, I'm like, oh, I might be a little off. And I was just going to throw it out and not say anything first. And I did. And you were saying at the office of the Cancer Foundation, you got to you have to imagine that the stories aren't always a happy ending. Yeah. So I have a feeling we've had a rough few days at the office. So
yeah, I mean, what we do for all these local families is so needed and so helpful for them. And I can't imagine not being there to provide this kind of support. But with that comes a lot of really closeness to a lot of families. And so when they're having great moments, we celebrate with them. And when they're having hard moments, we do too.
Yeah. And I know on social media, I know a few of the families that, when you get that call and you get the diagnosis of the cancer word and you're there for them from the moment they find out. You guys are there and you help them through what they need to know, what they need to do, holding hands, hugging, whatever you need, you guys are there. And that's why it's so important that when we do have these events for the Children's Cancer Foundation, mind you, Northern Nevada Children's Cancer Foundation. So our community embraces like all of our nonprofits. We are so blessed in the Reno, Carson, Sparks, Tahoe area. We come together.
It's an incredible community.
It is. And then, so a good thing about social media is that I was actually saying it to my aunt today because I was making phone calls and she was like, hey, she was so excited. It's Aunt Darlene and she follows me on social media. And I said, I got to say one good thing about social media is I feel like I see you every day. Yeah. And
we get to be close.
We get to be close. And I know that there's a young adult who's struggling right now. And she got, is it her third time? Mm-hmm. I know, I'm talking about. And if they want, you can share if you want. But I just want people to know that that is one good thing that has come out of social media, that when there is a need and you need some extra love, there's some positiveness out there.
Yes, absolutely. Our community can show up in amazing ways, just with words of encouragement. That is so important for these families just to know that they have a support system behind them.
No, but we totally do. So we're going to take our first break. We're going to come back. I'll try to pick up the energy just a little bit, but it is important to express how we feel. And we want you to know that we have sad days, we have happy days, we have crazy days, we have whatever days, and we're here for you. And we know you have those days. So we know you understand, and we love you for being that. So stay tuned. We'll be right back to City Talk about Town Deb.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
You're enjoying this episode on Angel Phoenix Productions Podcast Network. To explore a complete lineup of quality programs and media production services, head on over to angelphoenix.com or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Angel Phoenix Productions.
She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's about Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk. I'm About Town Deb. Alicia here with Northern Nevada Children's Cancer Foundation. So happy you're here. And I know I said I wasn't going to go wherever I was going to go with this, but I love that we could be us.
Yes.
And we could be us for you out there. And I'm grateful. So I'm grateful. And I am grateful for our community and all the cool stuff we do. And I did have a pretty busy week last week. We always share a little bit about it. And if you guys had anything, feel free to share. But this month is National Hispanic Heritage Month. So I was able to go to visit Mari Chewy at Ranchera. It was their 1-year anniversary. And we still had some smoke, so we had to cancel the main party of it with the mariachis and the dancers. But we still had some tequila tastings and amazing food, and it was really good. And then Saturday, Lead Dog, which is a local brewery, which is right, actually, we're at the Musicians Rehearsal Center in Sparks, and they're right past them when you come here.
Yeah.
And they also have a location on 4th Street. So they paired with Dorinda's and did a beer and chocolate tasting.
How was that?
Well, I got a fib. I've always liked beer and M&Ms. So I've already been doing it since I don't know how long. And I love the peanut M&Ms are even better because you think beer and nuts, Then you add the chocolate.
A little salty sweet and a little beer to wash it down.
So good.
Sounds perfect.
It was yummy. So they had a great turnout. Then I stopped by Shanny Dolan's, which is part of the Dolan family, a new little local bar pub, more of a bar whiskey than beer. Anyway, had a good time there. So it was just kind of nice to not have too much going on. But there is one thing that I want to, I hope I mentioned it last week. We were talking about the winecation. You know, I love El Dorado, wine country. Yes. And because of the smoke and all the impact of the mosquito fire, because they're close by in that area, they moved the event to October 22nd. So there is still time. It was September 16th to 18th. It is November 22nd and 23rd. You can go to eldoradowines.org, and I will have something on my page as well.
I feel like that's a good move for them, not just to avoid the wildfire smoke, but that area in the fall is going
gorgeous.
To be so beautiful. Everything's going to just turn.
It
beautiful
is so
colors.
Cool.
It's going to be a little crisp out.
It'll be beautiful.
Perfect time to be in the mountains.
And I love going wine tasting, like with hats and sweaters and boots, and you're walking in the vines with the leaves that are starting to fall, and it's crunchy. It's also Apple Hill time. Yes. So you can go get some apple pie and apple cider, and you could pretty much do all kinds of stuff. And I know in wine, it's a winecation, and each winery will do a special theme. So it's like if you were going to Paris or you were going to wherever. So it's going to be special. So you can go to eldoradowines.org, and you also get a discount if you put in DEBSPICK, Deb's Pick.
Deb's Pick.
Deb's Pick. So there's that. So now we are going to go on to new mommy stuff. So tell us how old she is, what her name is.
Yeah.
I mean, was it a surprise? Did you plan it? All that kind of good stuff.
So I feel like, I'm a planner by nature.
Did you plan?
We planned a little bit. Her name is Shannon. She is not quite 8 months old and just the happiest, smiliest little thing ever. She is crawling and has officially cut her second tooth. So,
wow.
Yeah, things just go so fast. Motherhood is just this constant whirlwind of milestones and exciting things happening all at the same time. It's wild.
From day one till now, is there a moment that you went like, whoa, like this is crazy, or this is such a blessing? And is there something she did that made you go, this is our daughter? I
feel like it has to be that first mama, which I got about a month ago. It was just, it just melts your heart. And especially when they're snuggly and they want you, and she's starting to really have association with certain people now. And has a preference for mama sometimes, which I love. She's just, her little personality is developing, and she is her daddy's twin. So that's fun to see.
I love that.
They look so much alike.
So being a new mom, because we were talking about that earlier, I know that I was really lucky to be able to be home most of the time until probably age 2.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So tell me what it's like when you have to realize that I need to go back to work, and how you say that first time and who's watching them, and what was that like?
It's really bittersweet. Like you said, what I do for a living and every day is so needed, and it's so fulfilling for me. So I can't imagine not going back to work, especially for NNCCF. But then at the same time, it's heartbreaking to leave the little one behind. So I went back to work at about 12 weeks, and, she was tiny and helpless, and still is kind of, tiny and helpless in some ways. But it's all about just finding good care and relying on your community.
Did you have family, friends, daycare?
We're in daycare. And after the pandemic, I heard a statistic that 20% of daycares closed their doors permanently. So it was a little bit of a struggle to get in somewhere. But now that we are, we love who watches her every day. And it's just like part of the extended family. So it's wonderful.
I love it. And another question, what is the most surprising thing you discovered about being a mom?
I think the most surprising thing has just been to really trust your instincts and what comes naturally. I think, humans have been having babies for so long, and without all the books and the apps and the Google to turn to know what to do or what to watch for, your gut just tells you what your baby needs. And so listening to that has been an adventure and sometimes a challenge because there's so much information out there.
Yeah.
But it's been wonderful to just see my natural instinct kick in and just know what she needs.
Well, I have a feeling she's going to be very outgoing because Alicia here, she's the kind of mom and wife and woman. If she needs something done, she's going to get on a ladder. She's going to get hammers and nails. So does she already have like a little play set that has a tool belt? I think, when she has her first birthday, is she going to get like a tractor?
Probably. Yeah. We live on a little bit of land. So some outdoor play is in her future for sure. And my husband can't wait to introduce her to all the motorsports and I will be having her help me with all the house projects, definitely.
See, that's so cool is that, that's your personality. And, with your husband, you guys are out there, you have property. She gets to be outside. She gets to like experience what it's like to not just be in the city, but to be out in the quote country parts. Yep. And it's a whole different feeling. Yeah. And it's so important. I was able to go almost every year as a child from age 7 to probably 14 to the farm in Nebraska. Fun. And I remember I was, a city girl with Grandma B, and shout out to Grandma B right now. We'll throw that in there, and Ellie and Aunt Glenda, who's now up there chatting with Uncle Ray and Papa. So, but I remember I was in LA in the beginning, so I was definitely city. Then I was in Burbank, which was still city. But then the last day of school, it was like, come on, we're getting in the car and we're going to Nebraska. And I didn't know what Nebraska was, but I got to go hang out with my cousins on the farm and I got to gather eggs. And I just got to feel what it was like to have cousins who literally at my grandpa's, he had an outhouse and they had a pump for water. So I really got to experience what it was like, but I wouldn't give that up for anything. To know what it's like.
I'm really similar. I grew up in the suburbs, but we had a little chicken coop in our backyard, which was, I don't think legal in my little hometown, but that's okay. We had chickens and I spent summers, in Switzerland on a farm. And so, that outdoor time is so needed.
Switzerland on a farm. Now, I think I've heard you talk about Switzerland before.
Yes.
Whoa, is that family?
It's family, yes. So I'm a dual citizen. My daughter now is a dual citizen, which is really fun. So I can't wait to take her back and meet all my family and just spend time in the old country together. And,
I love it.
Yeah, all my family out there are hardcore farmers, like pigs and chickens and cows. And it's the best experience
love
for a
Switzerland.
child.
That is one of my favorite places to go. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm really happy to hear that. That's really cool.
It's fun.
So the other, if you could describe, I know Shannon's little right now, in one sentence, what would it be?
Playful and inquisitive.
That's a very good thing.
She's just fun, and it's fun to sit back and watch her explore the world around her and figure things out. And she's so playful and happy. And
well, I see photos of you guys, and she is always smiling.
Yes.
She's always being cuddled, and when your hubby has her, he's got her up, and you could just tell she's going to be adventurous and inquisitive. I can definitely tell that. So
we like to include her in things. We took her to the air races this weekend. Just fun stuff like that. We want to make sure she has all the experiences out there that are available to her. And again, back to this amazing community. There's so many fun events and so many amazing nonprofits and so many just amazing people in our area that I can't keep her cooped up at home. Well, I think there's too many things to do.
So this weekend in Nevada, in Reno, is Street Vibrations.
Yes.
So I don't have the actual date of this weekend because I'm so we'll have to I don't know what date it is.
Saturday's the 24th.
The 24th. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be Street Vibrations, and then coming up the beginning of October is going to be Grape Stomp and the El Dorado, the Roast Spaghetti. Yeah. Italian Festival. Italian Festival.
Yeah.
And normally I do grape stomping for that, but I'm going to be at another memorial, so I will not be able to go. So Amber, with my host and with Dorinda, is going to do the stomping for me. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about why Northern Nevada Children's Cancer Foundation is so important, and that it's right here in our community, and they are ready to help you. So it's about Town Deb. Alicia, be right back.
You're You're enjoying this episode on Angel Phoenix Productions Podcast Network. To explore a complete lineup of quality programs and media production services, head on over to angelphoenix.com or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Angel Phoenix Productions.
You know that's what she said. Come on, let's have some fun with About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk. Yes, I am About Town Deb. I do have a name, Debbie McCarthy. And this is my town, but I love your town, all towns. Like it said, my town, your town, any town is my slogan. And I have my blue bands, together we're one heart. And I truly feel like I know our community, your community, wherever you're at, that there's amazing people around you that are going to make a difference. So I'm going to read my quote, and then I'm going to go to Alicia. She's going to tell you a little bit about Northern Nevada Children's Cancer Foundation, why it's so important, and what their mission is, why they do what they do, and how they can help you if you need them. So here's a quote. And this kind of made me a little bit, I did not know that I was going to be losing a family member when I wrote this quote. I was thinking more about the stories of the kiddos. So that's why I picked it. So your life is your story. Write well, edit often. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control the way you handle it. What do you want your story to say?
I love that.
And it means a lot because this morning you were talking to one of the kiddos who was in the office who was struggling. And I know she's already telling her story. She's already out there in our community, and she's fighting for all the other kids that need help. And I know that sometimes, she can't control what is going on right now, but she finds a way to make a difference through that and navigate. And she's handling it with grace and love and kindness. Yep. So you know who I'm talking about out there. So I'm thinking about you, and I love your family. And I love that you do write well and you edit often. So
edit often. Is such a amazing piece of that.
I love that because our life changes every day, and we have to be able to say, well, going to make an edit, going to make a change, going to pivot. So tell us the history and the story of Northern Nevada Children's Cancer Foundation. I'm just going to zip it up and let you share. Yeah,
so NNCCF, we have been helping families in Northern Nevada since the year 2000. We are actually the culmination of two different nonprofits who were both working side by side in this community to help kids and their families with cancer. So both of those nonprofits are in memory of two sweet little boys who lost their battles, Jared and Keaton. And so their legacy continues to live on through what we do at NNCCF. It's our mission to enhance the quality of life for children with cancer and their families. We do a lot of financial and emotional support. We have some advocacy efforts, and we spend some time and energy on research as well, because we want to put ourselves out of business one day. Yeah. We don't want childhood cancer, or any cancer for that matter, to be a thing anymore that any community has to struggle with. But as long as it exists, we are here to support these families, again, financially and emotionally.
So actually, you just pretty much said your mission.
I did, yeah.
And it's so important that we are aware of what you're doing. And I know there's so many families out there, from the moment they get that call or they suspect there's something wrong and they don't know who to turn to.
Yeah.
So your presence here and why we're sharing, because wherever you live, there probably is most likely some kind of a children's cancer support for you.
Yeah. And, that's the thing that's most mind-blowing to me, is that something like NNCCF does not exist everywhere. Every community needs something like this, because 1 in 265 children will be diagnosed with cancer before the age of 20. And that's a national statistic. So there are children in every community that are facing this horrible disease. But a nonprofit like NNCCF is not everywhere. We are not federally or state funded. We're not affiliated with any larger national organization. Which is also really important and an amazing testament to this community, because everything that we can do for these families fighting in Northern Nevada comes directly from our community. It's people like you hosting fundraisers. It's friends and family getting together to donate a couple of dollars or spread some awareness. It's things like the city of Reno turning the arch gold.
Oh, tell me, I wish I could have been there. Was that like just such an inspiration, and just to be there and to see the lights go on? And
yeah, I spoke to a mom that night after the event and after we lit the arch gold, and she said, "How are you feeling? You guys just came off of your golf tournament."
Oh, we got to talk about that too.
And I said, I love a good fundraiser, but this type of event feels good. It's loving on these families, loving on our community, and seeing that community support. It just means so much.
And, when we talk about fundraisers, and we'll talk a lot more about, you have some fundraisers coming up, but if you aren't able to go to a fundraiser, you may not have the funds to do it. What are some other ways that a family can make a difference?
Yeah, so we've had some really creative community partner events over the years. One of my favorite that comes to mind is Family Bingo Night.
What is that?
This family has been doing bingo night with their friends forever. And so
like real bingo,
like
the balls and putting a number.
Yep. Friends and family come over and they have, 5 or 6 different families from their community over at their house, and they have some appetizers and drinks and kids, adults, everybody hanging out, and they play bingo, and they sell the bingo cards for $10 a piece. And then they donate the money to us afterwards. So it's just a fun night of hanging out with your friends and family, and a very small monetary donation, but it makes such an impact because you are spreading your passion for helping your community with your friends and family. And then they go out and do the same.
I kind of like that bingo night thing.
Yeah, it's fun. We've had some really creative ones. We have local businesses, like some of the auto dealerships, for example, that will do a dress code buyout. So, hey, if you want to wear jeans instead of your slacks today, bring us $5. And then they'll donate, cumulatively across a month, $1,000 to us. And those types of fundraisers make such a huge difference because there's so many people involved in that donation that the mission is being spread far and wide. And those people who learn to love us continue to share our story and spread it to other people. It's wonderful.
So is there a story that you can think of? I know it. So what's your website? Because I want people to go there right now.
We are at nvchildrenscancer.org.
And there are a few stories I was looking at again this morning as I was prepping. And, just to know that the families are sharing their stories is important. And one of my stories is why I've connected is little Maddie Watkins. Her family, her mom and dad were at St. Albert's Church where I was. And beautiful little girl. She has a little brother, and I hadn't seen her in a while. And we were actually, her dad was with her, and she was going for treatments. So she was in her wheelchair in Las Vegas, and I saw her in the airport, and I hadn't seen her in a while. And I'm like, Maddie. And she hugged me, and I'm like, what happened? And I just, we all get so busy, and I looked at her and I'm like, I got you. And that from that moment on, and even before that, I was doing when I was at Nevada Matters, I was doing the Ferris wheel, but I hadn't had that personal connection. I was just spreading the joy and the love. And once you have that personal connection, and little Maddie looked at me towards the her final days, and we knew, and she looked at me and she said, Debbie, don't forget. Like, wise young little girl, like, please keep fighting. So that is my purpose and my why that I'm here, is because there's so many little Maddies and Jarrett's and all these other little kids who weren't able to fight the fight. They fought it, but they didn't make it. But they still left knowing that our family, our friends are going to continue our legacy.
Yeah. And it's so important in our community too, to continue to talk about this as a cause and to talk about these stories and these families. Unfortunately, yes, we have our angels. We have Jared and Keaton and little Maddie and many others who are watching down and rooting us. Keep going. Rooting us on to keep going. But then we also have so many families here in Northern Nevada that beat this. And we want to be behind them and help provide them some hope. Our kind of hashtag for social media is Help, Hope, Courage. And that's really what it's about, is providing some community support to be able to support them financially while they are focused on getting their child healthy, but then also give them that hope and that courage to keep going, and they can beat this.
No, and they can. And more will beat it every day because of the research that,
Yes.
you were able to help fund that. And I know at the golf tournament, I just want to, I don't know the final totals that you guys raised, but one of the dads of a daughter who actually beat it, he was chatting and I was at our table volunteering, but I still could hear a little bit on the speaker. And tell us a little bit about that. We have a little under 3 minutes.
Yeah. So at every event that we do, we like to bring it back to that personal touch because we want people who are coming out to support us to really know that there is a face behind each of these stories. There is a family that's impacted and be able to provide that personal touch. So at our golf tournament, which Debbie and Jazzy Georgia helped out with, shout out to Georgia, we had 2 different families come and speak, 2 dads of survivors, and just speak to our golfers and tell them their story. And it's just incredible. I want to give a quick shout out to a community partner that just happened this last weekend, Pulling for Our Little Heroes.
Oh, yeah.
They are a group of local weightlifters and CrossFit enthusiasts, and they get together every year. This was 10th annual. And they have donated so much money to us over the years. This year, we were just presented with a $65,000 check from this community of people, which is incredible. And, bringing it back to those stories, there was a mom who spoke during the finale of Pulling for Our Little Heroes who said, I have been participating in this fundraiser for years. And I never imagined I would be on the other side of this, but here I am. And this is why we continue to do this. This is why we pull for our little heroes. And it's, again, bringing it back to that personal connection. It means so much that our community supports these little warriors.
Yes, it does. And we know if you're out there and you're struggling, and no matter what community, would they be able, if they don't have the resources, would they be able to at least reach out to you? No matter where they're from, and you can help connect them to a
Absolutely,
local.
yes. There are some amazing nonprofits, not just here in Nevada, in Southern Nevada, and then all over the country and really all over the world that are doing some amazing work. And so chances are if you live in a community that doesn't have a nonprofit like an NCCF, where we're super local funded, there are other big organizations out there that can support you through that fight.
Okay, well, we're going to take our final break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Dozers Dirt, Natalia's night, a poker tournament, all kinds of stuff. And then I want to know why the kite. So when you see their logo, there's a kite. I want to know about the kite. So it's about Town Deb and Alicia. We'll be right back.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
You're enjoying this episode on Angel Phoenix Productions Podcast Network. To explore a complete lineup of quality programs and media production services, head on over to angelphoenix.com or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Angel Phoenix Productions.
Ready to help from her toes to her head. Just give her a shout. Call about Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to our final segment of City Talk with About Town Deb and Alicia with Northern Nevada Children's Cancer Foundation, one of my favorite nonprofits. I love you all out there, but you have your why, and Maddie's my why. So hope you can be patient with me for that. So we have our why, and we've talked about how you individually can help. In our community, in the Reno, Carson, Sparks area, there's been events that you have year after year.
Yes.
So let's talk about Dozers Dirt.
Yes.
Because that's such a cool concept and it's been all over the news. So tell us about that one and when it is first. And then we'll head on to Natalia's night.
Yeah. So Dozers Dirt is the reimagined former Big Dig, which has been in this community for almost 25 years. We think this is number 23. So a few years ago, the event committee that hosts this every year came to us and they said, hey, we'd like our funds that we raise to stay local and we'd like you to be the beneficiaries. And we said, absolutely. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Yeah.
So this event is so unique and one of a kind. It gives kids and adults the opportunity to come out to an active construction site, an aggregate pit where they're pulling material out of the hillside, to be used for all these building projects. And we give them the opportunity to operate heavy construction equipment, which is not something you would ever get to do anywhere else.
Never.
So we put kids in excavators and in bulldozers and in haul trucks and in these just gigantic pieces of big orange equipment. And we let them operate the equipment. So they get to, dig out a scoop of dirt and swing the arm over and dump it somewhere else. And it's just the coolest event.
So how does do people pay to participate?
Yeah.
Are these can any child participate? Is it,
Yeah. So the event is primarily sponsorship based. So our local construction community and the committee is based off of a large portion of our construction industry here in Northern Nevada. So we have representatives from a lot of the different big companies, like the ones that are out working on the spaghetti bowl.
Yeah.
And they, gather their friends and family together to get sponsorships from local businesses who are doing similar work in the construction industry. And every sponsorship comes with tickets. So they will give their tickets to their employees to be able to bring their kiddos out to, see what mom and dad do for a living. And
that is so cool.
It's amazing. And then with that sponsorship also comes a portion of tickets that come back to NNCCF for our kiddos. Oh. So every sponsorship gives an NNCCF kiddo the opportunity to come out and experience this cool event as well. And then, yes, we do sell tickets as well. So general public is totally welcome. We would love to share this with you. It's the coolest experience ever.
So how do we get tickets for that?
nvchildrenscancer.org/dozersanddirt. And tickets are $100. They are good for one adult and one child.
Okay.
And
what's the time? What's the time frame of it?
The gates are open from 9 to 3 and it's Saturday, September 24th.
So it's plenty of time. Yes. To get out there and get dirty and get digging, and it includes lunch.
And it includes lunch and a t-shirt for the kiddos as well.
I think that is a must do.
Yeah.
It is so cool. Like we mentioned earlier, kids need to get out in the dirt.
Yes.
We really do. And so then the next event, this is one of my events, not mine, my favorite events with my About Town Deb and City Talk team and Crystal Basin and Wild River Grille and Tahoe Blue. So tell us about Natalia's night, then I'll tell you what we're doing at Wild River Grille.
So Natalia's night, we're celebrating the 10th annual. This event was started by Natalia's parents, Raul and Monica, who own El Adobe Cafe in Midtown, which is an amazing and well-loved restaurant here. So they, many years ago, got together with their friends and family in the restaurant industry and said, hey, let's keep Natalia's memory alive by fundraising a little bit every year and donate the proceeds to NNCCF. And so we've continued this event and grown it quite a bit. It shrunk a little bit during the pandemic, of course, but we are back to having over 10 restaurants involved this year. So as a community member, if you want to support the event, it's super easy to do. You go out to dinner.
Simple as that.
Go out to dinner on Wednesday, September 28th, and the list of participating restaurants is on our website, and a portion of your dinner ticket will be donated to NNCCF afterwards.
And I will be with my team at Wild River Grille. Shout out, as you know, I'm a partnership person. Yes. So they not only sponsor my show, we do a lot also with Tahoe Blue. So when it's a golf tournament, it's Tahoe Blue, About Town Deb, and Wild River Grille. We come together and we do it for this night too. It's like back to back for us. So Tahoe Blue is donated vodka for the golf tournament, and they always give me extra, and then I use the extra for Natalia's night. So Wild River Grille is going to be creating a special drink for that night, and it's usually a martini style drink. It was last year, so they're going to be creative. We'll find out soon. I'll post it on my page. But because Tahoe Blue is so generous that we're able to donate 100% of the proceeds of that drink for the whole night, and whatever you eat, a portion is going. And to top it off, if you're a wine lover, you like raffles, Crystal Basin Cellars is partnering with About Town Deb, and my red blend and my Sauvignon Blanc will be tasting. So when you come in the restaurant, you're going to get a free tasting of each of those. And we're going to have an amazing raffle basket with raffle tickets. So during the night, you can buy raffle tickets, you can buy a Natalia's drink, you can just eat. And then we're also going to probably have a special where if you purchase a bottle of the wine, we're going to give you like extra tickets. So it's a way that it's a win-win. And also another way to help too, if you go to abouttowndeb.wine or crystalbasincellars.com, normally $1 of every bottle you purchase online goes to Children's Cancer Foundation. But during this month, from what was the start date?
September 1st
to
January 27th, during our Know the Gold campaign.
It'll be double. So, and think about that. If you're buying the one drink and let's say it's $10, you're donating $20.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
anything you do, this is a big deal to me.
This is really the one thing we haven't talked about yet.
The William N. Pennington Foundation, I've got that down because I love them. And seriously, folks, if you've ever thought about donating, you could even go online. Anything you turn in from right now till January
27th.
See, it's a different date than last year. That's why I'm getting there. It'll be doubled. So please attend Natalia's night. There's many restaurants. So, and if you want the bonus wine tasting, go to Wild River Grille.
Yes.
And see
I have to say, we are so thankful for you and your support because we have, like I said, a lot of restaurants that participate that night. And so we try to have a presence at each one and thank people for coming out to dinner and make sure they know that a portion of their meal is going to come back to us that night. But when we asked Deb to take over Wild River Grille for us and be our representative there, of course, you go above and beyond.
Of course.
We got a raffle and we have a signature cocktail and, you know, just all the About Town Deb flair. And I love it.
And Dorinda's chocolate will also be included in your basket, just so you know, because they partner with me all the time. So then there's let's try to get in one more event, the poker tournament, and then make sure we say about the kite, but we're getting close. So poker tournament.
So our poker tournament is our next signature fundraiser. It's going to be October 20th. We have a new venue. We'll be at the club at Arrow Creek, which if you haven't been up there, gorgeous view. This is such a newbie friendly event. So if you've ever wanted to learn how to play poker, we'll teach you how first, or not us, but our dealers will teach you how to play poker. And it's just a fun night of some dinner and some drinks and some lighthearted poker and a fun way to give back. And like you said, it's all matched because it's part of our Know the Gold campaign.
Seriously, guys, that is my favorite campaign. So let's talk about why the kite before I tell one more story.
So the kites symbolize childhood innocence. They are a symbol of, you know, that free spirit that a child has and that exploration that they want to do. And so we use kites to symbolize helping these kiddos through the fight and just supporting them so that they can return to that free-spirited, loving, adventurous self.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. So if you can say one thing to our listeners out there that would really help them understand why this is so important, what would it be?
It would just be the way we spend our dollars. More than 80 cents of every dollar goes directly to local childhood cancer families, which is so incredibly important. We help with financial costs, including household expenses and medical reimbursements and travel expenses. And it really is just direct financial assistance to these families so that they can focus on getting their child healthy. And it's as simple as that. So the money is so needed. And it goes to such a great cause and such a great place directly to each of these families. And it means the world to us to be able to support them. Like I said, we're not federally or state funded. So every penny that we can give to these local families comes directly from donors like you.
Yeah. And you could also, what holidays are coming up, and that's pretty tough for these families. And a lot of us have, the trees and the presents and all this kind of stuff. And then my kids get older and family members, we're not exchanging gifts. A good gift would be to make a donation in honor or memory of somebody that you love and adore. And if you do it now for this holiday, it's going to be doubled. So whether you donate $5, doesn't matter, guys. $5 makes 10. 10, as you know, makes 20. So I want you to open up your hearts, and I want you to take a moment and take a breath and remember all your family members, whether they're 0 to 99. I'm sure they would love it if you made a donation in their memory or in their honor. So we're going to go with Together We're One Heart. And please remember all of our kiddos in Northern Nevada Children's Cancer Foundation. It's about Town Deb and Alicia, and we love you and we're grateful for you. So just keep giving and providing hope. Any last thing? Yeah.
Thank you, Deb, for all your support and having me on your show.
Your website one more time.
nvchildrenscancer.org.
nvchildrenscancer.org. We cannot wait to see you guys if you're locals. Dozers Dirt, Natalia's Night, the poker tournament. But please, if you want to sample any of my wine, go to Wild River Grill. So it's about Town Deb with City Talk. I'll see you next week.
This podcast was a production of Angel Phoenix Productions. Explore more episodes of this show or other great shows on the Angel Phoenix Podcast Network by visiting angelphoenix.com. The views expressed in this show do not necessarily represent those of Angel Phoenix Productions or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.